Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Haejun from Hanshi. Today's video is going to be the first video of our new series, all-ah series. What you're going to see is, by these two verbs attached together by using all-ah in the middle, you're going to see a change of meaning. So the meaning of the verb that you originally know of is going to change due to this other verb that's been added with all-ah. So today we're gonna look at all-ah 주다. So all-ah 주다 itself has a meaning of doing something for one's benefit. So what verb do you see in this grammar structure? You see 주다, which means to give. But with all-ah 주다, you're gonna have another verb that's attached before all-ah. And whatever you have in front of all-ah, that's the meaning of the entire structure. So let's look at an example to know what that actually means. So when you're creating a sentence with only the verb 주다, to give, that becomes literally to give. For example, 친구한테 생일 선물을 줬어요. So 친구한테, to my friend. 한테 is a particle for to. So 친구한테, to my friend, 생일 선물. 생일 means birthday and 생일 선물 is a birthday gift. 생일 선물을 줬어요. 주다, to give, and you're adding the past tense and attaching 어요, 아요, the polite ending. So 줬어요. That means I gave a birthday gift to my friend. But when you add all-ah, the whole meaning will change. Let's look at this example. 친구한테 생일 선물을 사줬어요. So the beginning of the sentence is the same, right? 친구한테, to my friend, 생일 선물을, a birthday gift. Now you have 사줬어요. You have an extra verb that comes before all-ah, which means to buy, 사다. So from the meaning to give, the meaning changes to buy something for someone's benefit. So with all-ah 주다, you gotta remember that the verb that comes in the front gets the meaning of it. Remember the first example was you basically gave a birthday present to your friend. But in this case, you bought a birthday gift for your friend. Talking about conjugation, just conjugate that into a polite ending. 어요, 아요. So like we just looked at, 사다. What's 사다 in 어요, 아요 polite ending? 사요, right? So you just simply drop 요 and keep 사 and add 주다. So 사줬어요 in this case because it's a past tense with a 어요, 아요 ending. 사줬어요. For conjugation, let's look at another example. 가르치다, which means to teach. What is 가르치다 in a polite ending? 가르쳐요, 가르쳐요. Now again, simply drop 요, 가르쳐 주다, 가르쳐 주다, to teach someone for his or her benefit. And now one thing you should remember is that the tense always goes to 주다 instead of the main verb. So the main verb does not get a tense, but the helping verb, in this case 주다, gets a tense. Okay, now that was the easy part of this grammar. But here comes the hard part. This part is very important to emphasize, and once you know it, things are going to get much easier in the future when utilizing this grammar. So let's try to break this down one by one. So remember, in Korea, you need to be polite and you need to be respectful and humble, right? That's our culture. And that culture also affects our language. So there are several ways you can use this grammar, all-ah 주다, in different forms. So a humble way of saying 주다 is 드리다. That's just another word that means to give in a humble way. So that's one part, but I want to put that aside for a moment and review honorific 우시. In my previous videos, I've mentioned this 우시 so many times, and I'm sure you use this in your Korean sentences as well. But I wanted to make sure that you know what this actually is. It's a subject honorific, which means by using 우시, you are being respectful to the subject of the sentence. In this grammar, 우시 is often used with 께서. It's a subject particle that replaces 이가 or 은는. So you use 께서 with the subject And oftentimes when you use subject and 깨서, you use 의시 with the verb in the sentence. Let's look at some examples. 선생님께서 숙제를 주셨어요. 선생님, teacher, 께서. 선생님 is the subject, right? So 선생님께서 숙제를, 숙제, homework, 주셨어요. 주다 plus 의시, because you're trying to be respectful to the subject, which is the teacher in this case. So 주다 plus 의시 plus the past tense and a polite ending. So from 주다, drop 다, add 의시. So with consonants, you use 의시. And with vowels, you only use 시. 주다 ends with a vowel. Therefore, you only attach 시. So 주시, right? And now, you need to attach the past tense in polite ending. 주셨어요. 주셨어요. So that sentence means the teacher gave me homework. We can look at an example with the present tense. 할머니께서 식사하세요. 할머니, grandma, and grandma is a subject, so you attach 께서. 할머니께서. 식사 is a meal, but 식사하다 means to have a meal. Basically, 식사 is a polite way of saying 밥. You know how you say 밥 먹다, to eat food? You make that into 식사하다 to be more formal. 식사하다. So because you're talking about grandma, you want to be polite. And with 하다, you attach 의시. And you're attaching the present form of polite ending. So 식사하, drop 다, add 의시, and 하 ends with a vowel. So 하, 시. And you're adding 어유, 아유. So 하세요. 식사하세요. And since we looked at the present tense and past tense, let's look at a future tense example too. 마크 씨, 내일 수업에 가실 거예요? 마크 씨, you're calling Mark. But in Korea, to be polite to someone that you're not very close with, or you just met that person, then you attach 씨 to the name. So 마크 씨, 내일, tomorrow, 수업에, 수업, a class, 에 가다. So because you're going to a class, you're using the locative particle 에. So 내일 수업에 가실 거예요. 가다 plus 의시, because you're not using 께서, because you're not specifically mentioning the subject, but you're calling the subject. 마크 씨. So you're not using 께서, but you still need 의시 because you're being respectful to the subject. So 가 plus 의시. 가 ends with a vowel, so you attach 시 only. So 가시. And what's the future tense of the polite ending? 을 거예요, right? And 시 ending in a vowel, you only attach 리을 거예요. So 가실 거예요. Mark, are you going to class tomorrow? I wanted to go over the subject honorific 의시 just to make sure that you understand fully what will come next.
More respectful and humble, you are lowering yourself. From that hierarchy, you are lowering yourself to say that you are giving something to someone in this level.
Does that make sense?